welcome back, guys, to another motovlog. So last week's was pretty mundane in that there was not much talking, and that was because I was on comms with my dad and didn't want to bother monologuing to myself with him listening in and making weird comments. So just kind of threw up some footage from that ride. It was a fun ride, just out with my dad enjoying it. Reason he was up here was so that he could help me with my air conditioner, which, as of today, being Thursday, the 20-something or rather, Thursday before this video goes live, it is all ready for the copper to be hooked up and the system to be charged. With that being said, tomorrow, the general contractor or air conditioner guy is coming by to do that work tomorrow morning. So by this weekend I should be done. Now granted, it's I'm wearing my thick jacket, my thick gloves and all that stuff, so I really don't need it anymore. But it's gonna be ready for next season, which I'm pleased with, and saved quite a bit of money doing it myself, and it was nice, and having my dad here to help was great to knock out the stuff. I thought it would take about 2 days, and technically hours-wise it took 2 days. We did it in 3 because on day 2 it was a beautiful day, and it was about day 3 was going to be rainy, so I said let's kind of work a half day, day 2, and go for a bike ride, and that's when we did that ride that you saw last weekend. So yeah, that was that. And then the rest of the week after we got it done, Grandma and Mom were here, so did some stuff with them, took them around. Grandma used to live near the area, so we took her back to kind of where she used to live, tried to see if we could find her old house, but no such luck. But got that done, and she had a good time. Went out to the beach. I mean, beach in fall isn't all that great, so you know, just kind of, especially the day we went, it was just cloudy and looked like it was about to downpour rain, but at least she got to see it and had a good time. Went out and saw my puppy again. Smart enough, I'll include a picture of said puppy here. Her eyes are open now and whatnot, so she messed with the other puppies while there as well, and the other puppies, you pick them up and they worm and squirm and squeal and whatnot, and her, you pick her up and she was calm as could be and just curled up in my arms and relaxed and slept, and so I was like, okay, that's good. She likes it. So I'm excited to get her. I've got a bunch of stuff already at the house ready for her when I get her kennel and travel bag and all that kind of stuff, because I don't know if I mentioned it, but I'm going to be taking her with me down south for the winter. I'm going to be spending about 3 weeks down at my parents' place. So I'm taking her with me on that trip, which should be fun. Obviously this guy doesn't know where he's going because he moved into a lane that drops away. But yeah, that should be fun. So I got, like I said, I got her travel stuff, got her a feeding machine, in essence a smart enabled food dispenser that portions out her food and everything, so that'll be good. And I can set it to a schedule, so like when I get up in the morning, the food will have dispensed, and I can let her out potty, and then she can have her breakfast, and I can take a shower, and then she can go back in her kennel. But at least she'll have some time out to eat her breakfast and all that stuff. What else? That's kind of about it. It was that week last week with my parents here and Grandma here, and finishing up the air conditioner. And, oh, there was a cool thing with my air handler. So I had just only ever read the instructions online. I never read the exact instructions that came with the unit. And while my dad was here and we were getting ready to put the air handler up in the attic, I pulled out the instructions, started reading through them just to figure out how I need to configure this thing. And one of the lines in the instruction booklet said, this air handler is equipped with Bluetooth. Like, that can't be right. I don't buy it. And I was looking inside at the control system, and I'm like, well, I'm missing buttons usually used to configure this thing, or dip switches, that the online instructions said I would have. I didn't have any dip switches. I had three 7-segment displays and 3 buttons beneath them. And this little chip. And I was looking at this chip and like, that does look like it's a Bluetooth chip. So when we got the unit up into the attic and wired up and plugged in, basically, I grabbed out my phone and like, let's see. Well, look at that. There is Bluetooth. And they have an app specifically for it and all that stuff. And it tells you the current CFM that the air handler is pushing out, more than likely based on the speed of the fan. And it'll tell you if you've got signal wires, like your thermostat wires. It'll tell you if they are active, basically saying, hey, are you demanding cool air? Are you demanding just a fan? Are you demanding stage 1, stage 2? What are you demanding, kind of thing. So it shows all that, which is really cool. And it did take a while to get things figured out on that end. I initially had it all set up to also have my old C-wire connection all figured or connected to it, because I had done a custom C-wire to put a smart thermostat in, because my boiler is just a 2-wire system, and to have a modern always-on thermostat, basically you need to have a C-wire. So I did a custom schematic based one using a relay and a 120 volt transformer, and it works. I mean, it worked perfectly fine, had no issues with it. But when you tried to mix that in with the system, that the air conditioner, which has its own C-wire, it didn't work too well. And doing some digging and some reading, I basically needed to kind of not use my own C-wire. And I had plenty of wire run to where I could back away from that, basically cut it out and not use it. And that's what I ended up doing, and I still couldn't get the thing to work. And there was one line, it was a G. G was the letter for it, and it was the fan signal line. And it was listed as optional in the air handler instructions, so I didn't think I needed it. But I was trying to command the fan on, and the fan wasn't coming on. So I'm like, okay, let's hook this up. I had one spare lead, so basically I had just enough leads to do what I needed, a pre-run in the wall. So I hooked that up for that line, and the fan came on. And then everything started cycling like it should, and it ramped up and ramped down and did everything like it should. Like I mentioned previously, my unit's a 2-ton unit. I told the air handler it was 2.3 tons to get the CFM that I wanted out. They had a nice little chart of, hey, if it's 2 tons, you get this CFM. If it's 2.1, you get that. And so I went up to 2.3, which gets me about 906 CFM. I'm cooling at about a 900 square foot area, so that's about the right CFM. So I did that. And got it, tested it, it all works, got a filter in. Decided to go with the filter. I had 2 options for the filter. I could have gone with the filter in the air handler or an external filter. I had planned on an external filter, not knowing I could do one in the air handler. But I ended up going with the external one just to kind of, not necessarily hide mistakes, but there's ducting tape inside the air handler box just helping secure everything. So I'm like, you know what, let's just put a filter in there and it kind of covers it up and looks nice. So that's what I did. But yeah, some more talk on the AC, but I'll title it something different. Haha. So I think that's pretty much all I got. Just absolutely this week's video. Next week, I'll have to figure out what I want to do. There's a charity ride, not this upcoming Sunday, but the following one I might go on. It's getting more and more towards winter and more cold, so I suspect at some point there'll be some Saturdays that won't have videos just because of the weather. But such is life on a motorcycle. So, thanks for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, please do consider leaving a like, and we'll catch you in the next one.